Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transports. Been a bit busy these days, so I'll just tell you what the plan is on the railway. As we watch this French local train hauled by the 140C231 locomotive. I really like this locomotive. It has Juef 5-pole motor and the belt drive. The rails are needing a bit of a clean on the points, but with all the pickups, this locomotive is faring very well. So there seems to be no issues with points. It had done a spotted derailing there at the beginning, but it's okay. So I'll tell you what's next on the to-do list. So in the meantime, the paint on the level crossing has set. I've made two patterns. These are just two paper patterns to cut two pieces of cardboard this size, so that I can actually make the proper level crossing, the part where the vehicles will cross the line. And then I'm going to use this. I'm keeping my eye on this locomotive on those points because at this turn of speed it seems to be behaving itself. I'm going to use this Mehano re-railer for the exact size for the central bit of the level crossing, and I'll measure that to be able to get the right width so that the flanges pass without problems, the wheel flanges don't get soiled by the cardboard that I'm going to fit there, and that way we'll actually get that painted in the next days and we'll have finished the level crossing. Another thing I'm going to do on the level crossing, I'm going to draw the lines, and to do that I'm going to buy a white marker pen, and I'm going to be using the same marker pen to draw all the lines on all the street lines, all the lines on the street. The traffic at the moment is very chaotic in this town. This Opel Kapitein is really pointing in a very strange position. And the last thing we'll do once we've done the lines, I'll sort of decide what the lines are, because the barrier will be more or less here. The barrier has to be far away enough not to touch long coaches, as you can see. So the coaches on this train are Juef luggage van, the one with the lights. We have another Hornby HO second class coach, Lilliput Bastille coach, ex-German, war reparations, and the last coach it's a Hachette model, and I don't remember the name of the coach right now. Oh, it has a particular name, not Bouchon, has a French nickname, but it was used on local trains, and these were actually, I'm talking about the last coach, these were refurbished coaches, old chassis that had been refurbished with steel coach bodies post-war, from original wooden coaches. I'll just write the name in the description because right now I just can't remember and I've started filming. So the 140, there you go, there's a derailment. Sometimes it derails. This one here sometimes, there you go, we got the derailment. And in live derailment. Sometimes it takes a notion on these points, on the mechano points, and it probably touches the... I know that points shouldn't be so close to the bends, but there's not much I can do. So, oh jeez, what happened? We're going to have to re-rail you. I'm just busy praising you, and you have to come off the line. Let's just push it back. Let's pull it back. And I've lubricated the pony truck. The pony truck articulation has been lubricated properly. It's come off the rails at the back as well. Let's pop it back on the rails. Okay, it's on. And probably coming out the bend, the front pony truck doesn't straighten immediately, because you can see it's quite... And let's see if we're going to go now. Oh, now we're not going anywhere. Complete silence. Okay. Bit of click, huh? Let's see if it behaves next time round. Let's see what happens. No problem. Didn't even click. Nice realistic speed. I like this locomotive. And this one goes in both directions. It doesn't always derail. Let's see if it does it now. Okay, no problem at all. I've got too many locomotives on the layout because I've been filming and things. In the next days I'm going to be tidying some things away and bringing some other things out, but I'll be mainly concentrating on the town, because I can't keep this layout out forever, sadly. Okay, no problem at all. Some months ago I changed the traction tyres on this locomotive. Quite a heavy load, because the Hornby HO is a pretty heavy coach. So all my family have all returned home, and now I've got time to resume my usual activities. Today I was very busy. I had to fix a thing on the Panda. I had to change the ignition electronic control unit, because it's been sort of misbehaving. It's a Euro 1 single point injection, the 1993 Panda with the automatic gearbox. Oh, that was not fun. In fact, I can show you this piece of electronic junk. It's more or less like in the meantime, we'll continue. Keep an eye on this train. You never know what it might get up to. So I changed this piece of utter rubbish. This is an electronic control unit for the ignition on the Panda. In fact, it says there, electronic module. but it's the ignition module. In English they just call it electronic module. So these things here are fitted to the side of the distributor in a very unfavorable position for cooling, and they tend to get cooked. So the car has an automatic choke because it's Euro 1 single point, and the automatic choke has been a bit too lively at startup, so I decided to change this part because after a hot summer it generally tends to go west. I can assure you that it's not fun because you're working in a very, very bad position. Let's see if I can show you again. I get my hands dirty doing that. So this thing is fitted on the side of the distributor, and there are two separate sockets that go in there, two separate plugs that go into these sockets. So we have from right to left, we have a three plug, a socket with 3 holes, and then one with 2 holes, and very narrow cables. It's not fun, and it's all held in position with 2 slot-headed screws. So somebody decided that slot-headed screws were suitable to fit inside a car engine, not cross-head screws. And then there's one cross-head screw that holds a sort of contact spring in position, but you don't really need to open that. I'll show you in the car. I'll actually talk about it in the next days. So that was fun. That was 2 hours of work, 2 solid hours to get this thing out and the other one in, and but it's 2 hours I won't be paying to the mechanic, which suits me very well. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to go on eBay and I'll buy a new one of these, because both cars, both the Panda and the Regatta. The Regatta's carburetor, so that has a choke, but it has an electronically controlled distributor. So it also has this piece of rubbish on the side of the distributor, but it's in a more favourable position because it's vertical at the base of the engine, and there's an actual cooling. There's a radiator grill in front of it, so some air comes in. Instead, on the fire engine of the Panda, it's right on top, because the distributor is operated by the camshaft. So that's really in a very bad place. But I'll show you in a car. Don't want to bore you too much talking about cars, but you're all mechanical minded people, so I suppose that talking about cars, now I've got dirty hands. Oh, and that's a souvenir when I closed my finger in the tailgate of the Panda on Saturday. That was great. So I didn't break anything, luckily, but got a nasty cut. Too much talking with too many relatives. Too much seeing too many people all at the same time. It's time to relax with some trains now. So I just decided to come in here and do some quiet, relaxing train running, which apparently has to include some derailments, otherwise it wouldn't be Brunel Railway without some derailing. And just relax together and watch some trains going around. Then it was free this afternoon. I had lots of different chores to do. I had to go to different places to take advantage of the free day. So the car's going well, tested it. I'll have to see the next cold start how it is, because then after changing that module, of course you're working with the battery negatively disconnected on the car. So after, it's the best thing to do is reconnect the battery, start the engine, and then let the engine reach running temperature. So you let the radiator fan switch on at least twice. This way the electronic module sets itself. That's a trick on these cars with any car that has any electronics in. It's better to apply this procedure when after disconnecting the negative leads. I mean, my Panda's a 1993. It only has this piece of electronics, and it has an ECBT transmission, so it has an electronic control unit for the transmission, for the gearbox, but that's all. Okay, very well. I think 15 minutes of waffle, blah blah, and looking at trains are enough. So I think we're going to pull up. Let's sprint round a bit. One sprint, we'll accelerate a bit. This is a low geared locomotive, so we're at 75%. Now these 140C locomotives, which were generally goods locomotives, but they were also used for local trains. Sprinted a bit there, now I'm going to slow down to a crawl. We're going to crawl into the station. Okay, thanks for watching. Cheerio, and see you next time. We'll finally get this level crossing inaugurated. Ciao.